Hi guys, so this is just a real quick video to show you what relative max and relative min are. So when we're looking at functions on a graph, relative max and relative min, that's referring to points that are higher than those right around it or points that are lower than those right around it. So a relative max is going to be like the top of a hill. Sometimes it will go up like that, sometimes it will be rounded, but that point at the top, that is just the highest or the maximum point in relationship to those ones right around it, that's called a relative max. A relative min is the same thing, but just now that's going to be on the bottom of a valley. And again, it can be it can be a sharp turn or it can be kind of a rolling turn. But that's going to be what a relative min is. And again, it's just kind of local. It's right within a certain area. Is it the highest or lowest? So this is different than like a global max or a global min. A global max would be like the highest point on the graph. The global min would be like the lowest point on the whole graph. This is just talking about relative to the points right around it. So there can be more than one relative max and more than one relative min. What a relative max and relative min are not, or they are that they are not points that are going to go off to positive infinity or negative infinity. So like this point right here that's going upward, even though that's kind of the highest point, it's going to continue upward forever. And it's not going to turn back around, so it's not a relative max or a relative min. Okay. Same with that one down there. Okay. So this one right here has a relative max here and a relative min here. So this is the relative max because this point is higher than the ones around it. It's a turning point. I should say that. They're always turning points. So where it's going from increasing to decreasing or from decreasing to increasing. So they're always going to be turning points on the graph. I don't know how that happened, but there we go. Okay. I guess there we don't go. Okay. So this next graph, actually before we move on, let's go back to that one. So we have that relative max and that relative min. The way that you say where that relative max or relative min is generally actually just with the x value, but it's okay to do the coordinates. So there's a relative max here at x equals -2. That's the x value of that point. There's a relative min at, it's like about x equals 0.25. And again, it's okay if you put the y value with it as well and do it as a coordinate pair. It's at -2, 0, and this one's at 0.250. So that would work as well. Okay, so let's go ahead and check out that next graph now. So we want to find the relative maxes and mins. So our instructions here say find the increasing and decreasing intervals. We did that in the previous video. So here, again, we're looking for places where the graph turns. It goes from decreasing to increasing or from increasing to decreasing. So basically we're looking for the tops of hills, the bottom of valleys. Oh my goodness, I do not know why it does that. Okay, so that's a point right there. That looks like it's at approximately 1/2. So there's a relative max because it's bigger than all the points around it or higher than all the points around it at x equals 0.5. And then it looks like there are two relative mins. One of them is at -1.5. I'm supposed to say min. Relative min at x equals -1.5. and then also one at x equals 3.2 maybe. Wow, my marker at x equals 3.2. Okay. So let's go ahead and take another look at this next graph. So on this one, we have 2 points where it stops, but there's only one relative min or max here, and it's where that turn happens. So again, if there's, like, these are lower points, right, than the ones here, but it's not a turning point. It's not going from decreasing to increasing. It's just stopping. Same with that one. So those don't count as a relative min or a relative max. So here's our only one here. So there's a relative max at x equals -2. Relative max at, it looks like it says wax. It should be max. Relative max at x equals -2 and no relative min. Okay, so again, you're not looking for anything that stops and doesn't turn, and you're also not looking for anything that is going to infinity or negative infinity. You're just looking for points where it goes from increasing to decreasing or from decreasing to increasing. It's the turning point, the top of the hill, the bottom of the valley, and we use its x value to call out where it is. Okay, so that's about it for that. So have a great day.